Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, we'll do our coaching conversation.
Okay.
We're getting through the day.
Getting through it.
I always feel like I should start niceties, but we already did our niceties.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just jump in. Okay, so here's our agenda for today. I'll give you some of the observation feedback from the last couple of observations that I've seen, which have been fun. I revised your action step based on the action step before was a lot geared more towards math.
Yeah.
And I think we can still do that, but I used, and I'll show you this, I used an ELA walkthrough tool and I revised it so it incorporates a little bit more of ELA as well.
Okay.
And then we'll just review our follow-up observation dates, which is December 17th. I'll come in unit 4, lesson 11 in math.
Okay.
And then the other one is the one that we're going to internalize, which is lesson 26.
Of 8th grade?
Of 8th grade. Do I not have the right one?
I thought it was 6th grade.
Wait.
6th grade, 16?
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're
had
fine.
8th grade at first, and then we changed it. Oh, wait. Lesson 16?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just had...
No, you're fine.
I'm glad you did that for me. Okay. Anything else that you're wanting to talk about or that we need to discuss?
I mean, I have the next play for the next semester, so I wasn't sure if you wanted me to send that to you.
Yeah, send me the play.
Okay.
What is it?
It's called The Day the Internet Died.
Oh, fun.
It's another comedy, yeah, kind of like Lord of the Flies action of like people don't know how to interact with each other and stuff now that technology's gone.
Oh,
it's pretty
funny.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Did you buy it yet or no? Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna send it to you because I think you did the last one. So.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
perfect.
check it out. Thanks. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready to jump kind of into our glows from your last couple of observations?
Perfect.
Let me see. Let me get there. So I was in lesson 14. That was with 6th grade. That was fun. Things that I saw that you were doing really well is just cold calling. You could use equity sticks or cold call. It doesn't matter. But you're keeping those students accountable, which I like. And you're monitoring. You're walking around the classroom. And so it's keeping them like on their toes. And then one thing I saw that was actually... Oops, sorry.
No, you're fine.
One thing I saw that was really cool, too, is at one moment, our friend Zach was... he was just kind of not paying attention as much, right? But you did, I thought, a very fine job of redirecting him without getting the entire class off course.
Thank you.
And making a big scene about it. Yeah. And, like, it just got him back into it. And you did that by just even, like, saying his name and, like, giving him, like, a physical and, like, a small verbal cue, which I thought was good. In the sense that because then everyone else can continue to do what they needed to do.
Totally.
That works well, too, when you're walking around and doing your proximity. So that was awesome.
Thanks.
And then another thing is you continue to use your notes and your lesson plans. And I know that day on Monday, you're like, that wasn't my best. But there's been a couple of times, so it's like, I'm not always looking for the best, right? I'm just looking that like we're building habits.
Totally.
And one thing I do appreciate that you do is you rely on the lesson plans, right? Like, and you go back and I feel like you're not afraid to be like, okay, give me a moment. I need to see what's coming up.
Yeah.
One, I think that shows students that you're also human.
Totally.
And that you're learning, and I think they appreciate that in some way. But I also appreciate it because it's like you're going to stay true to that lesson. And then you're going to hit the standard better. So
totally.
Keep that up.
Okay.
Anything else that you feel like is going really well for you right now or things you've tried that you want to talk about?
I mean, I'm just kind of keep it on, truthfully. Kind of in just like... I'm sticking with what I've already gotten good feedback on. I'm sticking with the coaching, and I'm not trying to, do too much right now, especially because I have so many different baskets that I'm pouring into.
100%.
So right now, I think I'm just trying to stay as consistent as possible.
I like that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I think that's also going to really align with what we're doing because I'm not trying to add a bunch of other things too. I'm like, let's just kind of like hone in on what we're doing and kind of like small tweaks.
Yeah.
So I will share this with you. Okay. This is our ELA walkthrough tool. And so just to kind of give you, I'll let you have this and you can kind of look at it. It's basically our 3 big instructional goals.
Okay.
And then we have these indicators. And this is really ELA specific.
Based,
like I wouldn't use this for math or anything.
Totally.
But then I kind of like after a lesson I'll go and I kind of take this as like just kind of like a lens to look through the lesson with my observation notes as well.
Yeah.
So you can kind of read through these, but this first goal is like teachers are providing multiple opportunities for students to engage with the text through reading, writing, speaking, and so forth.
Okay.
And this is where we're looking for. This is the rating, and then these are kind of some of the indicator questions.
Okay.
And I can always provide more detail on this. I didn't write every response to it, but
Totally.
It's looking either for most, some, or a brief part, right? And it sometimes the lesson lends itself to be more or less.
Totally.
But like them reading and whatnot. So that was one of the goals. And then the next goal is observe lessons will allow students to do the majority of the work in service of the grade level standards. And I felt that we're at like a 4 or 3. So if we're at a 4 or 3, I'm feeling
perfect.
That's a good spot, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we even dip to like a 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then I also think, is it a Monday? Is it a
Totally.
weird one off? Or
Yeah.
is this something that I've kind of seen as a pattern?
Yeah.
And then that's where I work that into like an action
Totally.
plan. Does that
To
make
the
sense?
goal.
Okay.
Totally.
And then this indicator too is like the productive struggle. And so that's where I did put kind of 2 out of 2. And we'll talk more about that of like, how do we get our students up to that standard level,
Totally.
the analysis part.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk more about that today.
Okay.
And then this is using the curriculum and the tools. And you, in fact, are using the questions you're using questions in the lesson.
Yeah.
This one, I believe I rated as a 2 because we'll just we'll review some of the content.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I can give you this as a copy. You can read through it yourself. And if you have questions on it, or just even what it means,
Perfect.
feel free to let me know about that.
All right.
But
This was for the 6th grade lesson on Monday specifically, or just overall?
yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Should be, yeah,
Perfect.
sure. So the moment I kind of wanted to dig into is I have lesson 14.
Yeah.
And when I was in here, I was looking at, I was in here for this part, like the inner monologue, the dialogue, inner monologue, and narration part.
Totally.
Okay. And basically, I think what happened with this lesson, I saw kind of 2 things. One, I was actually really impressed of how they were pulling out narration and dialogue. I thought they did a good job with that. Sounds like you. The struggle was the inner monologue.
Yeah.
Did you feel that? Okay. What were your thoughts on that struggle with inner monologue?
I just switched them in my brain, and then I realized too late, and I was like, I'll fix it next time I see them, kind of thing.
What do you mean you switched it?
Well, because I said the wrong quote, right, for the inner monologue. So I did the wrong one, and I was like, oh, shoot. And that's why when Denver said the right one, I was like, yeah, great. And then I was like, wait, I confused myself. So I was like, we'll just keep moving on. So we kind of just touched back on that next time I saw them of like, hey, the inner monologue is like this part where, kind of directing it a little bit more. So I think that was kind of the confusion of they're like, well, he's talking, so why is there not quotes kind of happening, or are there quotes? So it was like kind of that feedback, and that was just my bad because I flubbed the wrong part of it.
I don't think to be honest with you, I don't think you flubbed it completely.
Okay,
because the one example that at first students focused on was, it was an example of inner monologue. It was like, oh, he's almost home or something with the exclamation mark. Yeah. And he is thinking that because it is exciting. Right. He's almost, finally his journey is coming to this spot. But then this part in the direction does really like kind of focus you. It says, note the inner monologue is often expressed in questions that character asks oneself. And then it's like, if we would have flipped that and really, again, like focused on those questions. Totally. I think you'll see that then throughout the book. Yeah. And kids will start to pick up those questions, right? And it's those doubts. He's doubting himself. Totally. And that's how we get to know the character and see what he's going through. So I feel like you kind of understand that for sure. And I think that's, again, just, I guarantee you'll probably never miss that again.
That was a Monday morning 8 a.m. class,
It totally happens. So good. I'm glad you see that. Where was I think there's one more thing too. Sorry.
Are you supposed to be seeing yourself while you do this?
Oh. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. She can hear my beautiful voice.
Perfect.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here's the other one that I was going to look at too. I was like looking back at my
Yeah.
notes. So another thing that I was noticing when we talk about like with the walkthrough tool of productive struggle,
Yeah,
is you were doing a really good job of asking these like questions that are getting students to understanding, but they're more like close-ended questions where it's either a yes or no or one word answer.
yeah,
And so, for example, was some students gave examples of like narration, and then the follow-up question would be something you asked was like, oh, does everyone agree that?
Do we agree with it?
Yes
Yeah,
or no,
totally.
right? And it kind of goes along, like, I know you're kind of seeing like, is everyone there together?
yeah,
Kind of goes along with that, like, yes, no, like,
yeah,
are we really getting like a good assessment of what kids are getting
Totally.
at that point? And so another way to consider that is instead of asking like, is it like, are we getting this yes or no? Is I think it was like Sophia gave an example, and then you could just have another student explain how is
Yeah.
that an example of narration.
totally.
If you did that flip, you do two things in one. You'd see if the students actually understand what an example of narration or dialogue or inner monologue
Totally.
is. You'd also see if they're listening.
Paying attention. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally.
So, and not to say like you need every kid to do that, but it's just kind of like a really quick shift I think you can do where you'll get probably a better assessment of learning.
Totally.
And you can do it probably in the same amount of time, I would
Yeah.
say. Okay.
Yeah.
So, anything else that you wanted to, those were my like kind of takeaways from that activity in general.
Okay.
Was there any other takeaway that you wanted to address or?
I don't think so. I do think I did a pretty good job of making narration come alive and the dialogue itself. Like the kids obviously knew dialogue, but like when I got Zach up and like narrated
yeah.
that walk and everything, I thought that was a stroke of genius, and I thought that was really funny. I'll be honest with you. So
I did too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. I thought that was a stroke of genius. It was super fun, and the other thing I loved about it was quick.
Totally.
And so it wasn't you definitely made the point, and you didn't have to like go
Yeah.
above and beyond.
Yeah.
And so that was also fun. Plus you
That
used
was
a
fun.
British accent.
I know.
It's always fun to use.
It's
accents.
always fun. Yes.
I'm telling you, kids love accents. Anytime you can throw an accent in there, do it.
Love it.
Nice job.
Oh,
Okay,
thank
good.
you.
All right. Okay, so let's get into our next lesson. So I'm
Yep.
going to be coming in for lesson 16, grade 6. Thank
Beautiful.
you. And we are going to get into, what is it, the examine narrative techniques.
Yep.
But before we do that, you have your lesson? First, let's kind of just orient ourselves. So looking at the at-a-glance page, in your own words, tell me, like, what is the learning goal? What's
Wait, I'm so sorry, Seagull. Are we doing character development? Because that's the one that I prepped for. I thought we said activity 1.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No,
Is that
we
okay?
did. No,
Okay,
we did.
cool.
I get that. I got that.
Okay.
Did I say this exactly?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's totally fine.
No,
I was like,
I have examined character development.
perfect. All right,
Just don't
perfect.
throw you for a loop. Okay, so we'll get there in just a second. So
Yep.
for the at-a-glance page, tell me about the learning goals in your own words, the standards, so what are students going to have to be able to say and do?
Totally. So for this one, because we do have some of those TDQ questions, I do think that RL 6.1, so citing the textual evidence, will come into play a little bit. I also think that like being able to determine the words or phrases for RL 6.4 is going to come in handy, because I made a couple of notes of like, have students rephrase this question, or
Nice.
what does this question mean?
Good.
And then analyze for RL 6.5. Sorry, I don't have it off the top of my head. I apologize.
That's okay. I have
But
it. Don't ever let
analyze
it happen
how,
again.
I know, particular sentence, chapter, scene, or stanza fits into the overall structure of a text and contributes to the development of theme, setting, or plot. So we're kind of wrapping it all up with a bow. So I think that's where we're seeing like that standard all kind of come together in that piece here.
Perfect.
Cool.
I like that you're pulling those out with.
Oh, yeah, it's right here. I could just look.
I
Dang.
know. I had to cheat. But I think with the 6.5, let's keep in our mind when we're like developing these questions and thinking about
Yeah.
misconceptions. I think that analysis piece.
Totally.
Okay, so we'll just kind of like,
Yep.
how do we get the students to show they're learning to do that
Analyze.
analysis, like that higher order thinking?
Does analyze always go with 6.5 usually ish? Would you say?
In all of the standards?
Not in all of them, but like usually, would you say that kind of goes
Like an 8,
hand in
6
hand?
point, or an 8.5?
No, in 6th grade.
Oh,
Do you know? I mean, I don't know. I could probably go back and
I
like,
would
look,
say
but
it's going to come up in a ton of your standards.
ton of them,
I
yeah.
couldn't actually say like yes, but
Totally.
it comes up constantly.
Totally.
Right? Because you're constantly going to want to know if your kids know the information and if they can pick it apart
Yeah.
and tell me why it's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
analyze, you definitely do see a lot. Okay, and then the activity that they're doing.
Oh, they're gonna write and share responses to TDQ questions. So we're having like a whole class discussion. They're gonna go and answer the questions, and then we'll follow back up with the TDQ questions.
Perfect, and they're really focusing on Odysseus and Telemachus.
And
I know how to
Penelope.
I know. I should be better at saying his name. I feel like as an English major. I'm like, oh. Okay, let's look at the prepare section.
Okay.
Now, looking at the prepare section, think about like how does this lesson, specifically even this activity that we're going to look at, fit into the overall like FQT?
Yeah.
And what is the FQT that they have to do?
So the FQT is going to be talking about how the Odyssey fits into the monomyth genre expectations. So I've been really hammering them like every single day. We check in of like, what are the expectations of a monomyth? How do we see that? And then they always like list some of Ogler's stages and stuff too. So I'm really honing that in. They finally locked in that monomyth is a hero's journey. So we got it. Ding, ding, ding. And so what we're seeing in this, I think we're coming to that final of that return with the elixir aspect of this stage of the monomyth. So we're seeing it all wrap up in a bow. We're seeing how Odysseus has transformed and changed. We're seeing how his son like is also, you know, seeing sort of that struggle of what he needs to do and learn and everything. So I think we're seeing that final wrapping it up of like, this is the return of the elixir. This is the overall goal, what has changed and happened with the hero. So
perfect
transformation.
I like that. Okay. All right, that sounds wonderful. And anything else? I think we're working towards. So this is going to be good. Okay, so let's dig in.
Okay.
Where am I at? Examine character development. And for this activity, we just to kind of like peruse where we're going again. We review the vocabulary, and then it says just to display these.
Yep.
Right. So I was thinking as we go through this, we can look at. I mean, I made some notes of how I was thinking of it, but like we could talk about how do you actually see students engaging in these activities?
Yeah.
Again, another thing we could do is put some timestamps on each part of the activity so that we know we have 35 minutes for it. So we stay on pace. Does that sound?
Yeah.
So do you want to take, unless you've done it already, have you already taken a moment to do that? Or do you need a moment to like maybe make some annotations on how they'll engage with the activity? And
I didn't do timestamps for sure. So we can do some timestamps. I will be honest though, TDQs usually take them quite a long time.
Yeah.
Like it's at least 7 minutes, I want to say per. So I was thinking that this obviously would be a majority of our time, especially too, because we're checking like that's, you know, the goal right there is these TDQs that we're doing.
Good job.
So I want to spend a majority of the time in this. So personally, what I was going to do is I was still going to, hi, Miss Maya. Hi. We're recording a coaching meeting. So if you want to hear it, that's fine. Just to let you know.
Okay, am I okay to paint or should I leave?
You're okay to paint.
Okay,
Okay.
like confidential?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So what I was thinking with it was that like we have 35 minutes to all write down these meanings. So I'm going to obviously define them. We're going to give them the actual meaning, and then we're going to ask them, like I would ask them to rephrase it kind of thing, get them understanding. And then truthfully, I was just planning to talk about it out loud. 6th grade, I think, can kind
These
of
ones?
Yeah, these.
Okay.
So like all of these ask questions, I was just going to have it out loud and like us discuss and kind of have a little conversation. Of all the classes, I feel like 6th grade can do that. But if we want, I can totally have them write something down too for that response to these questions. Does that make sense what I just said?
No, it does. It totally does.
Okay.
My question is.
Yeah.
Are you going to have them write this down too?
Yeah, they're writing all of these vocabulary words
in there. Okay.
So this will take us probably 8 minutes, like 2 minutes a word.
Okay.
Truthfully. The TDQs themselves, because there's only 2, that will save us some time. That'll be nice. But I mean, it's probably going to be at least, like I said, 7-8 minutes per. So I'm going to say like 15. We'll cut it in the middle, 15 minutes. So 15 and 8, we're now at 23. So that leaves us 12 minutes if we're following this 35 to get this whole conversation in. Does that make sense?
Yep, that totally does.
Okay.
I think my thought was,
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking too about 5 minutes per
Perfect. Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Something to think about is, and
Yeah.
I think you can do that, is like, what is it in these questions that students need to know in order to answer
Yeah,
these
to
questions?
pull out. Totally.
So do you want to, and then we can probably, once we figure that out, I'm sure we'll figure out then real quick, like if you want to do, is it something that you could do a class discussion?
Totally.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and let's look at the first one. There's a sign from the gods. As that eagle came down.
From the mountains, pronounced fat goose.
There you
Then this
go.
part here,
There you go.
telekimascus, how I'm saying it,
Fervently.
says fervently. So that's that first question. How can the reader infer that telekimas's state of mind because of his fervent response to King Helen's interpretation of the omen? So we're seeing kind of like that hopefulness that telekimasis is having of like, maybe it is Odysseus, like having that like rejuvenated hope.
Yep.
Because, you know, he's doing his best, but
Poor guy.
struggling right now. Yeah.
Mom's struggling. He's
Mom's
trying to
struggling, I
protect
know.
Mom. He's having a hard time with this. Yes.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, so we want to see, he's hopeful that Odysseus is going to be coming back, right?
Yeah.
It's like dad's been on this journey and he
Yeah.
doesn't know what's going to be happening.
Totally. 10 years.
Yeah, and then it's also, I like this, Telemachus fervently wants to believe that the gods will favor him and his family, right? And there's that connection that's going to come later where Odysseus has seen how the gods can help him, and then we're trying to get his son to also see how the gods can help him.
Yep. Absolutely. It's like that humbling. Because too, we just were doing a part where they were breaking apart. Hi, Eric. The chunks, and one of the chunk was like Athene helping Odysseus and like seeing that God versus God kind of struggle. So I think that that's good too, of like, yeah, seeing that the gods will favor him and his family. Like he's hoping, but Odysseus has finally turned him in like, yeah, we need to humble ourselves and let the gods help us, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
All that sort of stuff.
How
Sorry.
will knowing that he's thinking that the gods could help us and he's hopeful for his dad coming home, how's that going to help them with these next two responses?
Because this one specifically, number 2, how is Telekimasis' journey similar to Odysseus's? So we see that him, like,
How do you say tele?
I'm saying it,
I like it.
Telemachus.
Okay, I know I should actually find out.
I know,
the
me too.
pronunciation. Sorry. We'll do that later.
So it's talking about these lessons that he must learn in order to be successful on this quest, like Odysseus was. So that's where I think it's really going to come into play of like seeing that hopefulness like happen and having to like humble himself like Odysseus did throughout the journey.
Okay, my thought is thinking of your 6th graders.
Yeah.
This
I
is
underlined
good
this
think
too.
time and discussion. Like they could probably pull some of that information in later to do this. But think of some of your struggling, like, are they going to remember that conversation up here when they just need to maybe bring some of it back here?
I don't know. I'm hopeful, truthfully. Like, of all the classes, I'm like, yeah, they can do it.
I think some can.
I think some can, too. Some can. I don't know. Especially, too, because this reply down here, he fervently wants to believe that his father will return. It's bringing that vocabulary back in, which is super good, too. So I don't think so. They probably should write some notes, huh?
Do you think they could be, if they did write notes, could it be low inference? It's
Yeah.
not like you have to have complete sentences.
Totally.
But like something quick that they can write down where everyone is engaged and thinking about it.
Yeah.
So you got them locked in, hopefully there.
Totally. Yeah.
Then they could write something down and refer to that later when really the bread and the butter is those two
Right.
cues.
Yeah, I can even attach it to, because those TDQs I always make my own documents for, so I can just add a front page and be like the ask questions on the page and like have a couple bullet points.
Oh, yeah.
They jot down some of the like takeaways that they have for each of those. Then that way it's just right on the same page as those TDQs. They can like flip it back and forth.
Okay.
How's that
cool.
sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
That could be, I think that's neat. I think if you have it on their paper, I think just a little space for them to capture some of that
Totally.
information, I think would be
Yeah.
helpful, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that's
it
great.
doesn't say it in the lesson plan, but if you're going to have that discussion,
Yeah. They may as well use it.
they may
yeah.
as well use it.
Totally.
That's why you're having it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn the ask into. Okay.
And you can determine too, I think, how long you want to do like a little write down and then talk about it. You don't have to do the jot. You could do even jot and then share out as a group.
Yeah.
Really. And I was just like estimating like 1 minute to jot down. Like I don't
Cool.
think you need
Yeah.
time for each
Totally.
of those.
Totally.
Okay, so there's that one. How does the second one support your TDQs? It's the one where we're talking about how he said ruefully.
Wait, which one? How can I invite him into my house? Oh, yeah. Said ruefully. Got you.
Yeah.
I think they're wicked. I mean, I wrote down over here that he feels worrisome and sad about the corruption of his kingdom, but we see that he has the arate because he treats everyone equally. And then with everyone, I said, like, even the beggar, right? He didn't know that was Odysseus, someone of higher status. He still was willing to take him in, like, show him the same treatment as a higher up, it said. So, what that is saying is showing that he has, that arate, which is similar also to Odysseus, right? He's honorable, like father, like son. I wrote down right here.
Nice.
Like we're seeing that, even though obviously Odysseus wasn't there, but he's honorable. And so, I mean, that's how I took that into consideration for that one. With that, like, worrisome and having that arate treating him with it.
Yeah, and I think to add too is the second bullet too, where it really like pulls out that his journey is similar to that of Odysseus because he needs to return home to help get rid of those suitors, right?
Totally.
He's worried in this question. The goal I think of looking at like why is he saying that ruefully is because he's worried that everything's gonna fall apart when he's not there. Right, so just like his dad's trying to get home, he's trying to get home too because he has like this responsibility. And so forth. So
okay.
I think that would be good to capture with this question so that they can use it.
Oh, yeah. I put a star by it.
You're already there.
Perfect.
All right. And then third question. They all clamored at her until she went back and loathed. And so...
that situation, and then the ask how does the illustration on page 151. So I wrote down over here that it's clear they're getting like frustrated by Penelope. She kind of played them, right? She's like being non-committal with all of them. She doesn't want them. And so in the picture it has them like all surrounding her. Their expressions aren't like happy. They're obviously irritated and annoyed. And so I mean, I think we're just seeing that they're over Penelope and they're about to take whatever they want from her kind of thing. So over here, I also like that it said that the suitors are opposite of Odysseus. They have no dignity or arate. So for years, they've taken advantage of her kindness and hospitality. One of them deserves reward for marrying her.
the kids will say that in that response.
No, not at all.
I was like, oh, that's fancy.
No, I wish. I think that they would say that they're being, mean or not welcoming kind of thing. Like,
yeah, I think I agree. I was like, I noticed like their eyes were all on her, so they're all like looking at her. They're concerned with her, but and then also maybe like noticing like her hands on her head. So that might be even a question too to think about as you're thinking about like, what does this suggest? Maybe her hand on her head, was that suggest of what state of mind she's in?
Nice. Okay. Hand on head. On head. What does it mean? I like that. Okay.
Okay, so are you, for these activities, are you thinking write down real quick and then share out as a class?
I'll probably call on 1 or 2 people.
Okay.
To share kind of just what they pulled out as the most important pieces. Yeah.
And then as you're doing that, maybe like walking around, seeing if they're even like writing something down.
Yep.
That could be even a cool opportunity to even have a student, as you're walking around in that 1 minute that they're jotting it down, is maybe see if there's somebody that could write that on the board.
Okay.
So then you can continue to walk around and monitor.
Okay.
Might be an option.
Yeah, give them a visual.
Okay.
Possibly. Okay. Lovely.
Okay. All right, so let's go down to the TDQs.
Yeah.
So you have these probably printed on a organizer, you said?
Yeah, I make Google Docs, so that it's all there.
I love that. And then you said most of your time, probably like what, 7-10 minutes each?
I think like 7-ish, 7.5 each.
That's really weird. Like 3 minutes, 7 minutes to review.
Yeah,
Like,
lovely.
We're like thinking
lovely.
the same thing. Okay, so in these questions, I guess my question for you is, what do you think are going to be the big misconceptions or the challenges with answering these questions?
Totally. So when it says, how was Odysseus depicted? That was the one that I talked about of like, hey, how can we rephrase this?
Yeah.
You know, how can we make sure we're all on the same page? Because I don't know if that's totally a word that sixth graders would think of.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically I just want to like rephrase of like, how has Odysseus grown over the course of the story? Of like, how has he developed? What has, you know, changed about his character specifically? Like not his physical character, but like his character on the inside, right? Like what are some of the different virtues we see? So maybe it's like calling back to like something that they are aware of with the achieved virtues, you know?
Will they remember characteristic traits of him in the beginning, or words that were described him in the beginning? Like, will they remember that specifically, or close to that?
It's hard to, this is the hard part for me always of like talking for them, right?
Yeah.
I think some of them will. Like, I think the Mel's, I think, you know, the chickens, like, I think they will remember. Others, though, I don't know if they will totally remember until there's like that hint that's given to them, and they're like, oh, right. And then they can jog back to it, if that makes sense. So I don't think that they'll remember that Odysseus was overly prideful, right? Like, I don't think they'll remember that his mouth got him in trouble with the Cyclops. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll recall that. So that is something that I do want to talk about, possibly back here, with one of the questions. Telekimasis values. Maybe we could hit something about the values that we see from him and his dad alike. Kind of thing. Remember when we talked about like his view of the gods and everything, and maybe we could talk about how Odysseus didn't rely on the gods at first, and now we see that transformation of humility. I don't know. I'm still kind of playing with that.
Idea. Well, I think it's good that you're thinking about that. Not all of them are going to.
Yeah.
They're not, and you're thinking about specific pieces of evidence that they'll probably need to either refer back to or no.
Totally.
And so you're on the track of like, let's get that evidence collected and ready to go.
Totally.
I don't think you could bring it back here. My concern is this activity is like a quick jot down and discussion.
Yeah.
Whereas when we're with these questions, I think it's going to be, how do I say? I guess more, I think you're going to see more success with students like applying that right into their question in the moment.
Yeah.
So what are the things you're wanting them when they think about Odysseus in the beginning and he was mouthing off to the Cyclops?
Yeah.
Like, do you have page numbers and evidence that you're hoping that they can pull out?
I mean, truthfully, I think one of the best information of Odysseus in the beginning is that Cyclops. So I can go back and find the page number for that. And maybe I'll just even write that down like by this first question and be like, go back to page 49 or 39 or whatever it was.
Well, I think I might have found, because I was wondering too, because I had to kind of dig into it.
I think it's farther. Let me go get one. We can look at the same time.
I think 19 and 20s, I found some stuff too.
Okay, perfect. Oh, 44. So, I'm a treacherous weakling, am I Cyclops? Well, this weakling defeated you and gave you punishment you deserve.
Yep.
Heard his voice. Then it said, the splash set the ship rocking, and the sailors pled with Odysseus to be quiet, but he wouldn't stop shouting.
Perfect.
So I think maybe even if I just, with this question, said like, if you need to reference page 44 and 45, you know, show some of that early transformation of Odysseus, and then we can...
That's a great question. Yeah,
later.
perfect. And then have them start looking, and then you're walking around,
Right.
seeing, and then you can kind of follow up, right?
Yeah.
What would be your follow-up question to that? So now you reference 44. I'm a kid. I'm staring at my book.
So I think it'd be like, what do we see is happening with Odysseus at the very end of 44?
And I would say he's insulting Cyclops.
Okay, so what does that show about the character of someone who's insulting them? Are they showing that love?
No, he's not showing that
He's
love.
not, right?
No, yes.
How would you feel if you were the Cyclops?
I'd be mad at him.
Mm-hmm. You'd be mad at him, right?
Yeah.
So how would you be able to describe Odysseus as a character then right now?
He's very confident in himself and he's very rude.
If sixth graders say that for that response, that's awesome. Okay, great, right? He is relying on that hubris, that impending pride, basically.
Okay, I like
Yeah.
that. So like he's very prideful right now.
Yeah.
He thinks he can take on this big
Totally,
monster.
yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Thinks nothing can stop him,
I
right?
like that. All right.
Okay.
What are some other details besides that one that you found of Odysseus?
I mean, do they all have to be? They don't have to all be bad, right?
No. I think ones I found on 19 and 20.
Yeah.
It was he was weary.
Yeah.
He wasn't like raging winds blew off driving that. Where did it go? Hold on, I wrote it down. He looked on page 19. He looked around wearily.
Mm-hmm.
Am I on the right one? No,
Page 19 is a
picture.
photo.
How did I get my pages?
Odysseus' men woke up, leaving in panic. They snatched the weapons. It was too late. The battle line.
Anyway, for sake of time, we can.
Yeah. I mean, I also like when he brought all of his men in to find the three that were eating the lotus fruit. Like, that shows
yeah.
his character early, right? Like,
Yeah.
he didn't want to just leave them and sacrifice those. He saw that honor and wanted to be able to, like, save them and all of his men, obviously, so he felt responsible for them.
I like that.
You know?
Okay, Leah, I wanted to show, but I'll find it. I don't understand. Why did I write
Like, wait.
page 19? And there's a picture. It must have been page 18, but
Must have been. Let's look back. We can do this.
I know. Where did I find it? Because it was an interesting thought of like, he was like, it was talking about he was wearily. Page 19 and 20, maybe. Oh, here we go. What is this?
Nice. Yeah,
20.
20.
Odysseus looked around warily as they landed, and they were all watching out for enemies.
So what are you thinking? What's the transformation?
Well, I was thinking, so at first he doesn't know what's going to happen in the beginning.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was like, where was I with this? At first he didn't know what's going to happen in the beginning, right? He doesn't know about this journey. And
Totally.
now at the end, when we see him in those pages, what pages are we on? 150.
Yep.
We see him calm, collected, more confident. Like he's calm with the plan, right? That he they're going to go and like save Penelope.
Yeah.
He kind of trusts the plan a little bit more, like
Totally.
right. So I would say it's funny you said when talking to about the Cyclops issue. I said confident, but it's like it's overly confident.
It's
right?
prideful,
It's
yeah.
prideful, but this one is more of like a calm and collected. Like
Totally.
he's
Yeah. Even too when
like a contentment.
yeah, when Penelope's testing him to see if he's Odysseus. Did you read that part?
Oh yeah.
And like cutting down the bed or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't need to prove myself to
Yes.
you. So I think that it shows like that pridefulness has now turned into that actual confidence that we want to achieve. Right?
Okay. Yes. Okay, perfect. So, where were you? I had a brain fart. I got all excited about that.
No, you're good. You found the warily. That's all that's important.
I know. I get it. Okay, so we have a couple of pages. So you have page 20. You have the Cyclops page.
Yep.
So as you're walking around, you can refer to those pages,
Yeah.
like of where was he?
And you don't
And now
think
where's-
that can just be a vocal, like, reminding of them, or do you think I need it down?
You need. What do you mean you need it down?
Sorry. Should I write, like, at the end of this question, be like, turn to page 20 if you want an example, or turn to page 44, or is it okay to let them struggle first
Oh, I think.
and then give them,
Yeah.
like, an example? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I wouldn't let too long though, because then time is of
Right, no.
the essence, right?
Yeah.
But they might already remember that.
Yeah,
Right. I think just anytime you can get them back into the text to like find that
Totally.
evidence, you could even have conversation if they even have that word, and like you're walking by a student, you can ask them like, "Oh, how do you know that?" And if they can articulate, like they just tell you the Cyclops example,
Yeah.
then they're referring back to that text
Totally.
evidence. I think that's fine.
okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay, so now we're looking again back at these questions. So they're seeing where he was and now where he's growing.
Mhm.
He's become more humble with the gods.
Mhm.
And we see that on page 148.
Mhm.
I saw that he was practicing patience on page 150.
Mhm.
You gave the example too of he and Penelope,
Mhm.
right? So there's multiple examples where they're going to be
Yep.
answering that. Okay. And then down
Oh yeah,
here.
and this self-control also I think was good too. When he was insulted and attacked by the suitors as well as other beggars, he didn't like get into a fight. He just kept going. Like he's like, this isn't even worth my time to
They
like
throw stuff
prove
at his
myself.
head.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
not fighting back.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. So that's showing that transformation for him.
Yep.
What about the second question, our character?
Well, these I think that I think 2 will be easier than 1 because like we just talked about, those 2 questions that we had hit on, I do think come into play with Telekimas's question here. So I think that this will be simpler for them to answer because they will have bullet points that they can look back on. Does that make sense?
I think so too. I think
Yeah.
originally, I think if you don't set this up, I think this one
Right.
could actually be
Oh,
challenging,
1,000%.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think they'll make that connection that his journey is somewhat similar to Odysseus?
I think so, especially if I am able to get them to understand that, you know, this one up here, when he's weary because the suitors are not listening to Penelope, he feels the same pressure that Odysseus felt. I do think that they'll be able to at least make that connection of, like, him wanting to protect his mom like Odysseus did. And then also, too, I think that we can call back to his honor as he treated the beggar with respect. So that's the arate, that's that honor that Odysseus has and the respect for others and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm off, though? Okay.
That sounds good. No, I'm just listening. I'm like processing.
No, it's good.
I like that. Okay. Okay. We're there. And then what is this one? Oh, yeah. That's the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Other handouts, you're going around. The other question I had too is,
Yeah.
are there handouts or evidence that they could use to pull out previous character traits or evidence? Or do
I
you
mean,
just want to kind of go around just like we just discussed?
I'll definitely circulate. They also have their response journals. So they have all the notes that we've been taking on not only like the hero's journey itself, but also to like the words that we have, the vocabulary words that we talked about and really dug into with hubris and arate and like humble and all that sort of stuff. So they can look back on that, as well as all of their annotations that they've done for homework and that sort of stuff.
But that might be a lot to look at. Like, I'm just, if
Yeah.
you go around and you're asking those prompting questions, that might
Yeah.
be enough.
Okay.
But I didn't know if there was a certain handout
Mm-mm.
that they've done where it has some of like Odysseus's traits from the beginning of the book.
Oh no,
evidence or
nothing like
anything
that.
like that.
Mm-mm.
It would just be going back to their
Mhm.
journal.
Yeah,
Which
if
you
they
could
want to use that as a
reference.
resource,
You have
yeah.
this, but then you're also going around and
Yeah,
asking them.
but I think they'd get back in the book first, truthfully,
Okay.
than before going into their response journals.
Okay, I like that. Okay. I'm just checking my notes. I want to make sure I'm asking all my right questions. Okay,
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we have our misconceptions. We talked about our misconceptions, what we will ask.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a clear idea of what we're looking for students to say or do in this response?
I think for this one is tell myself the call to adventure to find his father, leaves the ordinary world. He also helped and guided by a mentor. So it's just like talking about those stages that I've been hammering down on them for the hero's journey itself. Like, how does he have his own hero's journey? How is it similar to Odysseus? So those stages itself, I think, would be important. And then the other thing is talking about the fervent wants to believe that his father will return. So that first ask is just making sure, like, we realize that Telekimas's his hopefulness is because he wants his father to return to help him solve this problem, if that makes sense.
I think so.
Okay.
I like it. So you're pushing students to use the vocabulary, it sounds.
Yeah, totally.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that they're using the vocabulary to
Mhm.
describe that he's passionate for his father to return.
Yep.
He also goes on his journey.
Yeah.
Okay.
totally.
Are you getting,
And-
sorry.
No, you're good. And I was just gonna say, I think like that transformation, that was a really big one from module 1. Oops, sorry.
You're good.
So I think that us being able to recognize Odysseus's transformation also is gonna bring in that stuff that we studied in module 1
Yeah.
and kind of have it all come together and how we also see it with the hero's journey
Yeah.
as well.
I hear
So,
that. Okay, good. I like that.
mm-hmm.
My question is again, how are they engaging in this? Are they doing, does it say
This-
participate? It just says pairs discuss.
Yep. So this is going to be written partner work.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be down on paper. They'll write it out. I require them to write at least 2 to 3 full sentences as well as textual evidence.
Perfect.
Yep. So it'll be written down with that textual evidence that's backing up their elaboration on it.
Okay. And then what are you doing as they're writing?
I'm circling around giving like these prompted pages if they're stuck or asking those leading questions if they don't know where to go
Perfect.
with the pages and everything.
Yeah. Also, you can make a note of when you see somebody like nailing their response.
Yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
Just make
totally.
a note and then call on that person. Make sure.
Yep.
And then I would say try it out again. Like have somebody share out.
Mm-hmm.
Have somebody else either like explain what they just said.
Totally.
Right. Or
Okay.
kind of make sure that we're listening. Having
Yeah.
multiple students listen.
Perfect. Note great responses for answers. I know Erica actually did that. Like I already noticed one of Charlotte's answers for the warm up, but Erica also was like walking around. She's like, Charlotte has a good one. I'm like, for sure. I noticed
It's
that
fun.
for sure. Yeah.
I was
So that
just-
was fun to get
yeah.
to see.
I was just in. It's nice to have also an extra set of eyes. But I was in
Yeah.
EI's class today. I'm like, oh, this kid has a really good one. You should.
Yeah.
They were talking about integrity.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, it was fun. I'm like, oh, you should call him that kid for sure. Because
Yeah.
there's so many of those good answers that kids just don't raise their hand. Even
Yeah.
I told the kid, I'm like, you should share, and he was so
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah. He's like, no.
I really did have to call it out. It was good.
That's fun.
Okay. Okay. Moving forward, are you feeling okay with this? How, like, do you have any questions or like things that are still maybe unknown about this activity?
I don't think so. We do these type of activities fairly often.
Yeah.
So I think that of all the lessons we could have picked in activities, this is one that I feel pretty confident with, truthfully.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure and push myself to not have those closed-ended questions. I want to have open-ended questions, and I want to make sure that other students elaborate to make sure they're paying attention and backing up the other student. So that's my goals for my own
Nice, I
self.
like that. And those closed-ended questions too. There's a place for them.
Totally.
There's totally a place.
But not always, and I get stuck in that always of just, let's go, you know?
Well, and and I
Yeah.
want and I think they're like, let's try if we're trying to get to that analysis part.
Yeah.
Let's ask those analysis questions first.
Absolutely.
And then we can bring in those other questions, those like supplemental questions. But let's try to push it up here first. So
Absolutely.
I like that. I'm confident with the questions that we brainstormed, and now that you know like the evidence and the pages and where you're going to go, that they're going to be able to analyze like the transformation of where he went. And
Yeah.
so it'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. So this lesson is on the 17th. That's what we're planning for, or is it a different date?
This lesson will be tomorrow.
Oh no, this lesson is tomorrow.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
both campuses. I just came from.
I know, it's too
Well,
much.
they're on 50 minutes, and I'm like, okay, yeah,
Also, if we want to
okay.
cut the observation from math